Hey guys, today in SAO Integral Factor, we are going to test the Silent Knightess Sheyta skill. So this skill has two effects. The first one is the weak defense 5 debuff that can debuff the enemy defense down to -90, and if max limit break is -100. So we are specifically going to focus on this one, since the other effect we already have a test on different skills before. But before we begin, please like, share, and subscribe for more SAO Integral Factor content. So this one I'm going to use my second account actually, and since that's the account that have the Arcana gems to pull on these skills, and we're going to test it against this flower. And as you can see, my normal damage currently is doing around 200 damage. It's a little bit over 200, maybe 210, and I'm going to test it with the Sheyta effect. Now the damage become 390-ish. Let's try it again. It's in 383, sometimes 400. So let's say that 390 damage there. So we got an increase of 180 damage in this scenario. So let's test it out with the skill. So we're going to use this 3-star skill, and damage is around 4,230 something. In this case, let's try a few more time. 4,330 something. Maybe we can say, yes, this time is 4,493. So there's quite a variations there. Let's say that the damage is 4,300. Since we have a 4,200 and 4,400 in the range there. So let's test it out with the Sheyta skill and see how much damage do we get. So this time is 4,420. So not much. Let's try one more time. This one 4,583. Yeah, so it's a bit difficult with the damage variations, because the skill itself is multiplying the damage by over 300%, which makes the variation range is bigger as well. So this one is 4,487. So before it was 4,300. So it increases about the same 180 damage there, which is quite consistent to what we have on our previous test. So let's test it out with the enemy that weak again piercing weapon. So this mantis is 6,570. And try it a few more times. 6,891. It's quite a big range. Okay, let's try it with the Sheyta skill. It's 600, 873. So yeah, again, I mean it's 6,600 something in there. So it's a bit difficult, but I think the damage increase is just the same as before. Let's just test it without the skills here. My normal attack is doing around, let's say, 430, 440, and with the Sheyta skill it's 590-ish. So 400, yeah. So 130 to 590 something. And the increase is around 150 this time. So the interesting thing about the skill is that you will get the damage increase based on the enemy defense. So I would guess that the enemy defense on this kite is lower than the flower. That's why we got less increase in here. So next I'm going to combine it with this other defense down skill. So this Lebowitz skill can lower the enemy defense by 26.1%. So if we have this, the defense down will be over 100%, so specifically will be like 116. So test it again in there, so around 430, and now apply the Lebowitz defense down, and you can see here 470, 480. So you get increase about 40 to 50, and with the Sheyta skills now it hits almost 600, 590 damage there with the combine, which looks pretty similar to before. It looks like it doesn't do anything special even if the defense is going over 100% debuff. So next let's take a look into what happened when the enemy is using the chaos recollections. So in these situations, okay, so try the normal attack here to this boss, the chaos recollections. It's hitting around 130 to 140, so let's say 135. And with the Sheyta skill, okay, the debuff is gone. Try it again with the Sheyta skill. Now it is hitting 380 damage. So we got quite a higher number of increase in there. So from 135 to 200. Okay, I don't know what happened there before, but it seems like I get less increase now. So now it's only hitting 200. Okay, so we'll get around 65 damage increase in here. Now let's try it out before the enemy is using chaos recollections. So normal damage is hitting around 280 maybe, and with this Sheyta skill now it's hitting 400. So 280 to 400 is around 120 increase. Now you remember before when the enemy was using the chaos recollections, it only increases the damage by 65. So usually the effect of chaos recollection is reducing the damage by 50%, if I would say, maybe a little bit less than that, but it's almost 50%. So it does not, looks like the skill also doesn't do anything with the chaos recollection. So let's try it again. Here is still the same, around 135, and with this Sheyta skill it's hitting around 200. So the same thing. So we still get like half the damage increase when the chaos recollections is used. So now this is the only thing that I find this skill can be useful is like when we face the enemy with the higher defense. As you can see here, my normal damage before was around 50, and then it becomes 300 damage in here, so you get like around 250 damage increase. And it will be extra useful if you are actually using the auto attack builds for the situations I am simulating it with the Underworld UGO that I use on the other skills. And now my attack damage with it's becoming closer to 750, and if I add Sheyta in here, now it becomes 1000. And if you remember from my previous video on the Underworld UGO, the skill itself increases the damage based on your defense with 1:1 ratio, so it's equal to increasing your defense 300 points, which for a lower level user is not an easy thing to do. So but yeah, the downside is just that the skill is only lasts for 5 seconds. Let's try it again. I'm gonna show it to you one more time, and you get the Underworld UGO buff and the Sheyta skill. So my normal damage now become 1100 damage from before that was only hitting around 50 damage. So to summarize, the Silent Knightess Sheyta reduced defense skill is not that useful since it seems to only add damage as much as the damage reduced both on auto attack and on skills. At best, it will be likely increasing the attack on the enemy based on their defense. However, the effect only lasts for 5 seconds, which would only allow player to land one more skill attack. Other than that, the skill has good damage, plus it has effect that will add damage based on number of hits, which as tested on my previous video can pack quite a punch. The skill is AoE with fast animation and good range, but it is a slash type that would not get the benefit from the rapier weapon proficiency skills that increase the piercing weapon damage. So that's it for the video. I'll see you in the next SAO Integral Factor content. Bye now.